In this time-lapse video, you'll see me using wire at the start here, and I'm just weaving it in and out of my portrait project. I had previously done the technique where I cut up the triangles into, or the portrait into smaller triangles, so I'm using the wire and just weaving it in and out of the spaces in between the triangles. And the purpose of that is to add a little bit to the composition and make it feel as though that's what's holding the pieces together, or almost like they're being torn apart. So consider using or placing the string or wire in a spot that's going to add to the composition instead of just randomly adding it into the image. Also think about using it as leading line or incorporating movement somehow with it. But I'm basically just weaving in and out. I use the X-Acto to cut a hole through the piece here. You could also use maybe a hole punch or even a needle to thread the wire or yarn. Think about the placement and the movement of it. Maybe if you don't have things broken up and you're not sure what to do, you could almost outline some of the hair with it. This next step, I'm going to use some string instead of the wire to show this, this portion of the project being done. But I'm using the wire to feed the string through, which is actually kind of difficult to do because you do have to make sure you have big enough holes punched through. So I had to go back through that and make the holes a little bit bigger to feed the yarn through. And then I tightened up the wire and it helped a little bit. But I would recommend using a sewing needle if you're using string or yarn, and that's going to help a lot when you go to sew in and out between your project. But again, I'm just going around the triangle here, so I'm working on some positive, negative space. Maybe think about overlaying it on top of parts of the portrait. Be creative with the placement and what you're doing there.